Hello all, welcome you to another session on Tableau. We are actually started understanding how the Tableau workbook will look like and what are the things that you can understand or what are the things that you need to know when you wanted to perform something, some kind of visualization with the data that you have. So in order to make your process of visualization to be more efficient, we are learning different concepts that is available with Tableau so that you can decide on what exactly the field should be and where exactly the field should get accommodated in your Tableau environment so that you can actually make a better visualization. So this is what is the discussion throughout, and we are understanding many concepts in this series actually. So we have understood something about dimensions and measures, and which gave us an idea on when what should be called as a dimension and what should be called as a measure, and if you wanted to make some kind of modifications with dimensions and measures, how to do that. And also we looked into the data types. Okay, so now what we have is that with respect to fields, certain things, whatever we need to know, we have understood with these two sessions on your dimensions and measures and also on the data types and the properties that you can set for your fields. Now, you know very well that this fields is going to form the basis for your visualization. That's understandable. Now, what we need to understand is that, see, imagine that, how do you build the structure for your visualization? Okay, so now I know what I need to do with respect to the fields, like, whether the field should be a dimension or whether that field should be a measure and what kind of data type the field should possess. All of these information regarding the field, I know it very well. Now, what I need to do is that I need to build a structure for the visualization. How do I build a structure for the visualization? This is what is the question. So the answer is very clear. What is the answer is that you need to place the specific fields on the shelves and the cards. Okay, shelves are on the cards. You need to place your fields. Okay, so once if you do, placing the fields into the proper shelf and in the proper card, what you're going to get is you're going to get a structure for your visualization. So your visualization is completely starting at what level means it is going to start from this place only. Moving your fields into your shelves are on the card. When you try to move it, this is where your visualization structure is starting. Okay, that's what I wanted to do it. So what is the advantage of doing all these things? First of all, just because you place the fields in your appropriate shelves and in your appropriate cards, what it is going to help me means it is going to help me to increase the level of the detail in your visualization. So once if you are increasing the level of the detail in your visualization, that is going to have a direct impact on the number of marks. Okay, so you can actually perform the process of excluding or the including of the data. So if the inclusion of the data, is it going to have any impact with the marks? Exclusion of the data, whether it is going to have an impact on the marks. So all of these things could be done with the structure basically. Okay, and also you can add more detailed basically. So how I can add a more detail means you have something called as a cards, right? So in your cards, marks card is there. So there you can actually can add context to your visualization. How can I add context to my visualization means maybe probably one field I wanted to represent that corresponding field with a red color because that field is showing me a very negative impact. Say for example, you have a data which is like you have a data of COVID data basically you have, and you wanted to represent all the number of deaths which has happened in the COVID. So you choose a color which is red, which is going to add a lot of detail to the type of visualization that you're going to perform with the COVID basically. Okay, so this is the meaning of it. So the meaning is that giving a context to the visualization. So how can I give a context to the visualization? Means I can give it by, you know, I can do some kind of encoding with color or size or shape or text. With all these things, I can do an encoding. Fine now. So this is the basic idea, the theoretical understanding that you need to have whenever you wanted to give a structure to a visualization. So it is important for us to understand how I can make use of this shelves and cards and what exactly is shelves and cards. So to understand what is the meaning of shelves and cards, we need to get inside our Tableau environment. I need to speak a little bit on how we have to start the viewing and what are the things that you can do with the viewing so that your visualization is going to improvise. So this is what is going to be the discussion. I hope you got an idea. Now let's get inside our workbook. So as you can see here, this is the workbook, and this is not something which is new for you because of the reason that all of these things is known to you, and also you have your sample store data which is in this site, and all of you know that these are your fields, and you know where to see your dimensions and where to see your measures. All of these things is known to you already, and these data types is this something which is known. Now first thing what we need to do is to understand the shelves is that, first of all, if you have to build a structure for your visualization, I need to place my fields somewhere. Where I'm going to place my fields means I'm going to place my fields in the shelves. Okay, so first of all, if you wanted to create a view, okay, the first thing what you need to work with when you wanted to create a view is that first thing you will start working with the rows and the columns shelves. This is what is called as the rows and the column shelves. So here actually what you can do is that you can just drag your fields and place it here. Okay, we have done this in the previous examples also without knowing what is this actually mean. Okay, so now this is what you call it as a first shelf, which is your column and your row shelf. And by dragging and placing your fields into this column and the row shelf, what you're getting is that you're going to actually start the view. Okay, so let us do that first of all. Okay, so maybe I will place this segment in my columns, and then I have something like, maybe I'll keep a profit ratio, something like this in this. Okay, so what you're seeing here is basically you have got a view now. Okay, so this is what you call it as a view. This is your visualization. So to create a view, the first shelf that you will be getting access to is, of course, your columns and the rows. You can just drag and drop the fields into your columns and rows to create your view. And in the view shown below, you can understand that the members of your segment is basically your columns, and the members of your this profit ratio is basically your rows. Okay, so that's what it is shown, right? So what's happening is that the segment dimension is being displayed as column headers, and the profit measure is displayed as a vertical axis. Okay, so this is first thing. Okay, now what we need to do is that now in this Tableau actually will display the data using marks. Okay, see here in the down bottom you can see that there is something called as a 3 marks. Okay, so what does this mark mean is that every mark will correspond to a row. Okay, in your data source. Okay, in your data source, this marks will represent your I mean, it's going to represent your row basically. Okay. And see, the inner fields on the rows and the columns shelf will determine the default mark type. Okay. For example, if you have the inner fields are a measure and a dimension, the default mark type would be a bar. Okay. So you can actually select the mark type using the marks card here. See here. This is what is the marks card. Okay. So now this is set to automatic. Now we can select it here. Okay. Suppose if I am going to select it as a square, then you can see what it is. Okay. So if it is automatic, that's what I spoke about it, right? In case if your inner field is a measure and a dimension, then the default mark type would be always a bar. Okay. And you can go ahead and change this. So this is something which you wanted to know first of all. So this is your shelf, first shelf which we have to spoke about, which is your column and your row shelf, and this is your marks card. Okay. So fine. Now one more thing that I need to talk in terms of the shelves and the card is that actually you can add the dimensions and the measures, you know that very well. Okay. So you can actually include all of the fields in the column and all of the fields in the row. Still it is going to create the visualization. That's absolutely no doubt about it. Okay. So there are certain situations wherein you doesn't want to you just see there is something called as a hiding columns. Okay. When you will be making use of hiding columns is that whenever you wanted to perform some kind of table calculations, you wanted to perform it. So in the table calculation, what exactly you're trying to do is that you just wanted to compare the previous or the next data value. Okay. So in this cases, like when you wanted to compare a previous or the next data value. Okay. So what happens is that there will be a row or a column that doesn't show any kind of data, because there is no data actually that is essential to perform a comparison. So what you can do is you can hide the empty column. Okay. So if this is not clear for all of you, just let me just get inside my whiteboard. Okay. See here, you have a table like this. Okay. In this table, you are performing some kind of calculation. Okay. Say for example, you have in COVID, what is today's death. Okay. And here you have a here you have an yesterday's death. Okay. So based on this today's death and yesterday's death, you wanted to find out what is going to be the tomorrow's death value. Okay. So just a kind of comparison that you wanted to do. This is just for argument purpose. Okay. So now that in this yesterday's column is completely, it is not having any value at all. Okay. So how can you do a comparison? Okay. So in that situation, what you can do is this particular field is not at all required for me. Okay. So what I can do is that I can actually go ahead and perform a hiding of that particular column. Okay. So this is one thing which is available basically, and you can always perform the hiding of your columns in your in your Tableau. Okay. So what I need to do to perform the hiding, basically what I need to do means you just have to here you just right click on it. Okay. And then you can have the option like um, see, for this you have a field, right? So here let me see. Okay. So just you have the field, just click on the field, and then you can just click on the hiding. Okay. So that will take care of hiding that corresponding column. Okay. So this is one more thing that you need to know with respect to shells. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is, of course, about the marks. See, mark is very important key element as much as analysis is, visual analysis is concerned in your Tableau. Okay. So you can actually drag some of the properties, some of the fields into your marks card as I am doing it. Okay. So I'm just dragging these things. Okay. Let me drag profit. Okay. So something like this, you can drag it, and then after which you can add the context to your fields basically. Okay. So what is the meaning of a context is, of course, you can add the detailing to the fields that you have considered. Okay. So what you can do is that you can make use of these mark cards to set the mark type basically. So you have different types of marks card basically. One is your color, and then if you click on this color, you will have an option to choose on the colors. Say for example, I'm choosing a gray color. See, this is what it is meaning. And also border, also you can choose it if you want to have a border. And also, more colors if you wanted to give, like, you wanted to give a custom color, that is also possible with this color. Okay. So this is about the color. Okay. And the next one is, of course, your size, right? So size actually, this is what you need to make use of it. So you can just increase the size like this, or you can decrease the size like this. Okay. So this is about your size one. Okay. And see, you might be wondering as why we have to do this, sizing and all that stuff. Okay. But this is something which is going to add detailing to the visualization that you're going to perform. So naturally, this will be definitely helpful for you to do a better visualization and to give a complete structure to the visualization. So just increasing the mark size so that I'm just able to see the view in a proper manner. Okay. And also one more thing that I need to tell you is that you can add any number of columns if you want. Okay. I'm just including a ship mode also. So you can see that how things are happening here. Okay. So that also is possible. You can perform this option also. Okay. And then you have something called as a labeling is there. So in labeling, as you can see, just clicking on it, so you can just check the show mark labels, and and also just let me check the show mark labels. Okay. So you can see here it is marking the labels clearly. Okay. So this is again adding a detailing to the visualization that you are performing it. Okay. So that's one more thing that you need to know. And the next one is basically your detailing. Okay. So let us just see what is the meaning of your detailing. Okay. So detail is actually the dimensions. Okay. So it's actually been determined by the dimensions in the view. So adding the dimensions will increase the level of detail, and removing the dimensions is going to decrease the level of the detail. Okay, that's the meaning of a detail. So say for example, I'll add one more column. Okay, so this will increase the level of detailing. So you could see here, right? That's the meaning of detail. And then tool tip, this actually can display the flat text, field values, names, or any kind of visualization. So you can see here. Okay. So this is what about the date. And also you can find something like shapes was also there. And so that also can be assigned to specific dimensions. Okay. So this is about the marks card. And this marks card, as I showed you the demo, you can understand that that is helping me to achieve some kind of some kind of detailing to the view that I'm creating, to the visualization that I'm creating. Okay, so that is one shelf which we have discussed it. Now, one more thing that we need to understand is that there is something called as a filter shelf. Okay, so filter shelf is basically what it will do is that, see, say for example, you wanted to analyze the profit for each customer segment. Okay, but you wanted to perform this analyzing only for certain shipping containers and delivery times. Okay, you just wanted to analyze how much profit for each customer segment, you wanted to analyze it, but you wanted to restrict the analysis. How do you want to restrict the analysis? Means I just wanted to do this analysis for specific set of containers, shipping containers and delivery times. So how I can do this means I will make use of the filtering options. Filters is there, right? So I will make use of this filters to perform this. Okay, so you can actually perform the filtering data using measures or dimensions, or both at the same time. You can actually make use of your filter. Okay, so yeah, so that's about the filter segment. Okay, so you just have to let me just show you. Okay, so this is where, like, you can actually create your field and all these things, you can do it. And how do you specify the filters? Means actually it is indicated by the segment field on the filter shelf. Okay, okay, so this is about your filter shelf. Okay, and the final thing is that you have a page shelf. Okay, so page shelf, what it will try help one to do means, it will help one to break a view into a series of pages. Okay, so when you break it into pages, again you are going to have a better visualization. Okay, so for that, again, pages shelf is going to be useful. Okay, so and also you can actually jump through a specific page, and all these things could be done. So this is a short explanation to make you understand the shelves and the cards. Okay, and I haven't covered, like, very advanced topics like your summary card or page control, parameter controls. All of these things is as of now it is not covered. However, as and when if it is required as per the concepts, we can go ahead and explore that also. So, but this is the basic idea that I wanted to give it to all of you in terms of shelves and the cards. I hope you got exposed to the important shelves and the cards. So the next session, you need to understand on what is the meaning of this show me. Okay, so in next session, we are just going to understand the show me part clearly. Okay, so again, that is also something which is related to the visualization, which is going to help you to perform a visualization in a better way. Okay, now that I just wanted to conclude that this session is that, how can I give a structure to a visualization? I can give a structure to a visualization by making use of the appropriate cards and shelf values. Okay, so you can get an idea on how exactly I should make use of my cards and shelf, which field should go to which columns and all that stuff. That is a different kind of discussion that we would have to do in terms of the analytics part. Okay, but right now we are not focusing on the analysis part, rather we are trying to understand the Tableau as a whole. So this is important for you to understand to completely on the Tableau. So that's all I have for this session. Let's see you. I'll see you in the session on show me. Thank you.